China has a large population, a large density, and a vast territory. These features make the hinterland ideal for high-speed rail. According to the latest statistics, by the end of 2018, China had 29,000 kilometers of high-speed railways in operation. The total length of railways exceeds 120,000 kilometers. It accounts for more than half of the world's high-speed rail mileage. In addition, China's high-speed rail speed is constantly breaking world records. But there is a problem that often plagues Chinese engineers. That's track maintenance. High-speed rail is known as a heavy tool for a big country. The track is also a top priority. Yet it also has a fragile side. When winter comes, the rail will contract under the influence of temperature. And it expands when the temperature is high. Heat and cold easily produce deformation effect. In addition, with the increase in train speed and tons of train operation, the impact of rolling on rail is increased. Not only will the geometry change, rail surface will also appear wavy, wear and increase on both sides of the defects. To fix these defects, a black technology is often used, the copy milling cutter. The profile milling cutter can shape the profile of the rail, eliminate all kinds of hidden dangers in time. Take the rail of Japan's Shinkansen. After milling, the life of the track will be increased by about 30%. And it will greatly reduce the conversion rate. China's high-speed rail lines are longer. So engineers specialize in independent innovation. The world's first dual-power electric drive milling maintenance robot, Iron Mill. Also known as the rail ambulance. The Iron Mill can replace manual repair of rail profile and the outline of the rails to do plastic work. However, the core part of the Iron Mill milling cutter needs to be imported from abroad for a long time. Chief scientist of China Orbit Maintenance Technology Co. Limited Zheng said in an interview with reporters. Without the milling cutter, the iron mill is completely useless. Like operating on a patient, we have an operating table. But without the most critical scalpel. At present, only Germany and Austria have the advanced technology to manufacture the disc and blade of the copying milling cutter. It uses most of the milling cutters that make for maintenance work on European railways. Even Japan needs to import milling cutters from Europe. In 2011, China imported several railing iron mills and milling cutters at great expense. Now the innovative development of the iron mill, but the milling cutter has been unable to produce. It is understood that China's domestic urban rail transit. There are two main ways of rail maintenance. The first is the introduction of foreign iron grinding technology and equipment. Import prices are high. This adds a lot of cost to railway traffic operation. China's high-speed trains themselves are operating at a loss. The second is the most primitive sand belt grinding. Imagine over 100,000 kilometers of railway. What concept is sanding with sand belt manually? And these railway steels are hard. Not only time and energy consumption and precision is not as high as an iron mill. Sometimes it takes more than a dozen times to repair the loss of 0.2 mm rail. An iron mill can repair about 3 mm of damage in a single operation. The milling cutter is made of a super hard alloy material. It can cut steel like noodles. The metal composition of the milling cutter is now known to researchers. But it just doesn't know how Europe is proportioned and synthesized. As we know, this kind of Chinese medicine can cure difficult and complicated diseases. But the ratio of medicinal herbs is another person's ancestral recipe. Europe can't tell you. This reminds us of the ballpoint pen tip steel. The ratio of pen tip steel is top secret. It took 5 years to break the blockade. Finally realized the ballpoint pen localization. The milling cutter of the iron mill is more important than the steel tip. To prevent sales bans and price gouging in Europe. These 2 years the relevant domestic research institutions have begun research and development. Combine the technology that already mastered at present to proceed from actual need. To speed up the development of advanced iron pin technology. The latest news about milling cutters is in 2018. According to media reports in May last year. At present, the Chengdu Tool Research Institute has explored a feasible scheme. The theoretical calculation is also carried out. It is estimated that performing the milling cutter developed in China can be improved by 30% in the future. Costs will also be cut in half, industry insiders say. Austria has a top iron pin technology, has nearly 100 years of history. No matter in raw materials or production process have accumulated sufficient experience. And the country is still in the apprenticeship stage. The only thing China can do is combine current demand, trial and error, to strive for a breakthrough in related technology. Developed a milling cutter with independent property rights. In addition to the milling cutter, another news report was recently posted online on Refresh. China imports a lot of high-end bolts every year. Our country can make aircraft cannons. What is the reason why even the simplest bolt cannot be made? Welcome to Subscribe Amazing Our Country channel. We will explain the secret of making bolts in detail in the next video. At the same time, we will release a series of cutting-edge technologies that China needs to overcome soon.